abuse of young people. And that was a tragic story. It was a fundamental breach of trust that exists in an ordinary state, in a very happy relationship between an older person and a younger person. And when that trust is breached, of course, it's a horrible situation. But I'd like to speak about the positive side of that trust, the other side of the coin. One side being the breakdown of trust, but the other side of the building up of the trust, and how important that trust relationship is. Sheldon was telling me that the center, which he has been working for 18 years to establish, over the past few years has now trained almost 1 million coaches, volunteers, parents to understand abusive children and to take all of the positive steps to be sure the environment, the context is one where that trust relationship is as it should be. One in which one can have confidence in. So there are two opposite sides of a coin, but it's important that we work on the positive side of the coin, as the Sheldon Kennedy Centers are. And I was so conscious of this as Sharon was reminding me about the installation speech I gave a little over 5 years now, which was entitled A Smart and Caring Nation, A Call to Service. And both adjectives are important, smart and caring. Three pillars, family and children, learning and innovation, philanthropy and volunteerism. And they all come together in what we're talking about tonight, the trust relationship with respect to the next generation. And in that speech I said, if you remember only 3 words of what I have to say today, they are cherish our teachers. And by that I meant our teachers, our mentors, our leaders, those people from an earlier generation that have had so much to do with the formation, the development of the young. And I said, if we had time today, I could name 100 teachers, mentors, coaches, etc., who have influenced my life for the better. And I'll only take time for one story. And the story I told was that I grew up in a very modest family in Northern Ontario, Sault Ste. Marie, and I had the great privilege of attending Harvard on a scholarship. And I played for a remarkable coach, Coney Weiland, leading scorer in the NHL in 1931-32, coached the Bruins 38, 39, 40, then actually came and became a college coach. And when Cooney died, I was one of the folks to give the eulogy at his funeral, which was in Memorial Church at Harvard, seats 500, 300 or so were old hockey players who played for him, and about 200 were Harvard professors, deans, staff, etc. And I said, when the history of this institute, when the history of our civilization is written in 100 years' time, historians will look back on this institution, Harvard, as being one of the most powerful influences for good in our society. Why is that so? Because of great teachers, and we honor one today, the hockey coach, and he was a great teacher. And that's the side of the coin that's so important to me, building that trust that is done by so many people. And of course, when you think about the teaching of sport, or the teaching of leadership in any respect, how much we depend on the volunteer spirit, and how much we depend on that building of trust that is so essential for good lessons to flow and positive values to occur. I just want to end by saying that as we think about that trust and those volunteers, as my friend Mark Carney says, trust comes in on foot and goes out in a Ferrari. It's a value, it's a set of principles that is slow to build, and it's built one person by a time, including those 1 million or so volunteers that Sheldon and his centers are equipping, but it can go out very quickly when you have one badly motivated person who can do so much damage. And so it's incumbent of all of us to be the builders of trust, to constantly raise that bar, and also sure we're vigilant that the rascals, the miscreants, don't creep into that and destroy this wonderful relationship. Let's have a wonderful evening. Merci.